Welcome everyone to the Elephants on Business podcast, improving our small business journey together, one episode at a time. If you can't tell already, this is not Shahan. My name is Ned. I work here at Marketing at Elephant Advisory, and I am joined by fan favourite Oz. How are you, Oz?
It's great to be back, Ned. And I don't have obviously Shay across me and someone new, but we'll get through this marketing discussion here today.
Yeah, I know we've got a bit of youth on the podcast now. Get a target a younger demographic, get those numbers up. So yeah, obviously today's going to be a little bit different because Shay's not here. I think we'll just touch on the kind of marketing side of things, just basic marketing, how to build a marketing foundation, and kind of like the 5 pillars that we believe are the best way to go about that.
So obviously Ned's here, at Elephant Advisory, marketing guy here. So we always obviously lean on him for any assistance in these areas, and he's going to go through essentially these marketing discussion tips that he's got, and go through, I guess, what we have there. But I guess touching upon my journey, Ned, into marketing and how I sort of started the small business journey in marketing. I obviously didn't have no experience at all, right? I was always an accountant, and essentially, wanted to start my own thing and leaned into obviously starting a business. But in terms of marketing, I had absolutely no idea. So I guess going through what we're going to go through today, hopefully will help a lot of small business owners out there, with what they need to start thinking about, right? So on my side, I was probably like a 0.5 or 1 out of 10 in terms of marketing. Yeah. Basically just got in there, just put together a really cheap website, nothing too special, and just chucked on a bit of content on there. And I thought, leads will come through, and, quite naive. Right, yeah. quite naive. And, not much happens, I guess, in the first sort of 6 to 12 months. And, it was a bit of an experience there. It was great, but I guess talk us through, what we're going to talk about today.
Well, it's kind of been a learning curve for all of us, I guess. Like I joined Elephant late last year, and I don't actually have a marketing background myself. So we've all kind of been learning as on the go, and I think what we've all kind of realized along the way is you don't really need a marketing degree, or you don't necessarily need to outsource your marketing to expensive firms and stuff. A lot of it can be done in-house.
Yes.
There's a lot of kind of very simple, low-cost strategies, which we'll talk about today, that can kind of just get you set up.
So we're more discussing it from a low-cost initial setup point of view. Yeah. Maybe as when you go into a business, you have a little bit more time on your hands, and maybe you can focus on some of these areas and just at least tick them off, rather than having nothing. Yeah, you've got something here, and I guess you go through them, right?
Yeah, and like you said, because marketing, when you're getting set up, there's not going to be the results that are going to happen tomorrow or next week. Yeah. A lot of it, building a kind of foundation is just to have something that you can build from, for the coming years, and hopefully once you get some of these steps set up early on, you can just kind of keep adding layers to it later on. So. So like pretty much what we're talking about today, there's I reckon 5 things that are very important to do when you get started in marketing, and hopefully that none of them are going to be too costly on the money side of things. You probably have to put in a bit of time. That's probably the biggest cost.
Yeah, it's the time, and a lot of small business owners, like I said, probably have plenty of time at the start. So it's no excuse not to tick these things off, I guess.
Yeah, and it's important to note that I don't think small business marketing has to be complicated at all either. I think, a lot of people think of advertising, branding, and all that kind of stuff. A lot of it's just very simple, kind of effective ways, just trying to be, just get your business out there shown, and you can start to think about some of that more high level stuff later on. It's a lot. I feel like marketing's like, a good investment in any, aspect of your life or business. If you put in the time early,
you get the rewards later on.
It'll compound over time.
It's a very similar story for some. Just turning it back to accounting and some of our clients, where we recommend clients get involved in the bookkeeping at the start, and at least they learn a little bit of the foundations. Yeah. And then as they get larger and bigger, that's when you can look at outside and maybe seek additional help when required. Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So we'll start off. I think the first pillar, or the first step of getting your marketing set up is conducting a real just basic marketing analysis for your business. We won't go into too much detail because it's obviously a lot of it's kind of self-explanatory. You're thinking about your target audience, what platforms you're going to get set up and stuff. But there was 3 key points I just wanted to make sure we outlined. I mentioned target audience. I think a lot of people think, who are we wanting to target? Maybe we're wanting to target, is it males? Is it middle-aged people? But it's also very important to think about who your ideal client is.
So depending on your business, like,
right.
where, like if we're a business that is, let's say, high quality in a sense, you're probably going to be targeting clients that appreciate that quality. If you're a cheap and fast business, you're probably going to target people that like things on a budget or things like that, right?
Yeah, that's right. And you think about it, like if you had, say, 100 clients in your business, what would those 100 clients look like? If you could choose what they look like, what kind of person would they be that would make coming into work as enjoyable as possible, that would make make your job as easy to do, whether that's they're really friendly or they're,
That's the same as us on the accounting side, right? So like we try and target clients that, want to obviously, like they don't use tax as an excuse. I don't want to pay tax, all this sort of stuff. It's more, I just want to get it right. They're quite friendly to speak to. They want to grow, and we know which clients we generally like to pick up from that end.
Yeah,
and it just makes our life a little bit easier. It's like you're not stressing about the client too much. Like they come back with some problems, they're very easy to deal with, and it just ticks the boxes from that end.
That's right, because when you're getting set up in a small business, obviously you want to try and appeal to as many people as you can, get as many people to see it as possible. But as time goes on, you do want to start thinking about who are the kind of people I want to work with, and then start thinking about what do they value, what are they looking for. If you're looking for someone that's going to be really nice to deal with, really friendly,
that's generally an easy way to deal with those clients, right? And then you don't have resistance. You, as you said, you come into business, you come into your workplace very happy, smiling, always ready to help. Whereas if you've got sometimes, let's call it annoying clients or customers, it does create sometimes some friction there.
And if you start thinking about what those people would want, they probably want to deal with someone that's really nice to deal with as well. That's going to take the time for them. So that's when you can start thinking about how am I going to sell our business to those kind of people, because ultimately those are the people you want to have in your business as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Just as like a quick example, like I've been going to the physio lately, and their ideal kind of clients I think would be sports people, maybe have injuries, are going to be living locally in the area, are going to be coming back. So they've obviously taken their approach to marketing is a lot more kind of hands-on, grassroots. Like they have people coming into the footy club for free, helping people, developing relationships like that.
Yeah, okay. So so they're obviously giving away some of that free knowledge, coming in, trying to help, let's say, the younger youth, and then eventually, hopefully they, when they, obviously you always get injured, maybe playing footy or something like that, you come back and visit them, right? So like to get a little bit more assistance there.
That's right. But like, in our business, it's a lot more different because, finance, accounting, it's a lot more broad. Location's not necessarily as important. They're looking at Melbourne. So it's think about, who your ideal client is and what they're looking for. And then you can start to kind of, develop a strategy that will target those demographics.
And then after that, what you'll start looking at what sort of strengths your business has, right? To sort of sell to that particular client set or client base that you've identified that you want to work with.
Yeah, that's right. And it can just be very low level marketing analysis, but just think about what is it that your business has to sell? Is it the people? Is it your expertise? It could be the location. You just have great customer service.
Quality.
Just a really high quality, offering. So,
and these are the areas that you want to highlight as part of your marketing plan.
You want to just keep pushing those ones, because that's at a basic level, that's marketing. Isn't it?
So that's going to build into the reputation of your business, or that branding of your business.
That's right.
To push that message across consistently. So if it's one where we've got a business and they pride themselves on quick customer service or quick delivery, they just try and use that as their message to get more customers through the door or something like that, right?
Absolutely. And the last kind of point on before we move away from when you're doing a marketing analysis, and that's just have a look what your competitors are doing. It's pretty simple, but you
might learn something.
Yeah, you can definitely learn something, and you can even steal a strategy if you want to. I'm not saying you copy their brand or you copy the content they're coming out there, but have a look if they're in a similar industry or you think they run a good marketing campaign. See what social media channels they're on. See, are they maybe producing blogs or different content, or are they on a podcast like this, or are they, are they really good on Google? So just have a look at what their strategy is, and then that's a great way when you're getting started without, needing any kind of marketing or expertise or skill. You're getting someone else to do a lot of that groundwork for you. Yeah,
so it's essentially like if putting it back to like what we do, like obviously if you're an accountant and you look at, your competitors, if they're doing blogs, if they're doing, let's say EDMs, if they're doing a podcast, things like that, then at least you've got a list of, okay, maybe I need to think about these things. And then it's not like you're stealing the idea. You've got a process then.
Yeah.
And then you just obviously make it your own and then change it towards what are your strengths of your business, right? So it's,
that's right.
You would use their messaging channels and then sort of brand it as the message that you want to send across.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we've just talked about the kind of, basic kind of marketing analysis.
Yep.
From there, I think one of the most important things you can do, and this is kind of going on to the second pillar that we're talking about, and that's building a website. I think there's probably enough content here to have a whole other podcast down the track.
Yeah, I think we might, like go into deep dive into
that's right.
These pillars, I guess, as you call them.
But the point I want to make is that this whole digital age, obviously, that's happened over the last 15, 20 years. It's fantastic for small businesses in a sense, especially on a marketing side of things, because previously getting your
brand
name out there, it's very tough. You probably have to pay to have it in the local paper or
radio advertisements on TV or whatever they used to do.
Yeah, exactly. But online now, there's so many more cheaper alternatives to get your name out there.
Maybe. Yeah, you've got the website. You've got you can do Google, YouTube if you want.
Newsletters, that kind of stuff.
Google AdWords, things like that as well.
Yeah,
right. Or Facebook, Instagram, social media channels to pump some advertisements out for you.
And then so like there's a lot of kind of tools out there that you should definitely lean into before you start thinking about paying for wherever it is, advertising or that kind of stuff later on down the track. If you can just set up, there's a lot, we'll go through them now, but
so essentially you're saying let's set up, like obviously go through, like the first point again, just go through the market analysis, work out what our message is, etc., etc. Second step would be to build a website. So now we're sitting down and we're going to actually execute on something practically, right? So like we're going to start building that out.
So we'll transfer kind of what we've
all
gathered
the data
about the business from the first one. That's right. And now we're going to kind of focus on building a business, building a website. So look, there are going to be small costs involved. I know sometimes at the start you might think I just want to cut every cost, but I think the small costs that are involved of starting a website are absolutely kind of necessary, and you definitely get your return on investment there. The kind of two options that you have when you're building a website really are you can get someone else to do it for you, or you can do it yourself.
Try it yourself, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of websites out there that promote templates, right? So like if you really wanted to, you can jump on a certain website and there's a template and then you're already off and running, right? With a design layout. If you were going to go, let's build it ourselves.
Well, I mean, here in the time that I've been here, we've done both strategies, haven't we?
Yes.
And Elephant had already paid to have a website done by the time I came here. And I think we found out that it actually wasn't.
It didn't tick the boxes for what we were after, right? So like it was a really nice designed website, but it just didn't tick off like the SEO component, right? So then it was just like, do we go back to the drawing board?
And a lot of kind of creative stuff, especially like digital work, anything that needs any sort of like programming knowledge, that's all can be very expensive as well. Kind of like people charge a lot by the hour, so having a website built can be very expensive. And then what we found is
custom website,
that's right, custom websites, right? And that you kind of forfeit a bit of your creative control through that as well. We didn't have a lot of technology at all, so to change, small things on the website, we'd have to go and go through the web guys.
No one was a website developer or builder here, so it was like every time you wanted a change, it was like there was a massive resistance to that change, right?
Yeah,
so like
right.
You'd have to communicate that with the web developer. They'll have to change it, and then you'll have to double check, and maybe it's not 100% again, and it's back and forth, and you can end up wasting a bit of time there sometimes.
And so for the costs, and especially when you're starting out as a small business, I don't think I'd almost kind of encourage you to start with just try and build one yourself from one of these kind of there's website builders out there that can be relatively expensive. We use Squarespace here. I think we're only maybe $35 a month or something. So plus it is a cost, but
that $35 a month like gets you obviously a membership to that Squarespace platform. It can link your domain to like that template, and then you start building the content out from there, right?
And because like a lot of the work's been done for you, the technology's there that these two can look very good. It doesn't look like
you've done it yourself.
A super cheap website. Yeah. There's some really good ones out there for all kind of industries. So definitely kind of check them out. Have a go at kind of building it yourself. We kind of touched on the SEO side of things as well. We'll chat about that at another date, but that's the kind of another important consideration to have. But really,
so we're just really going to go through the basics today, which is like you build your website, maybe use a template. If you don't have time, obviously seek out a professional to go out and do it. Mm-hmm. If you have time on your hands as a small business owner and you're starting off that journey, maybe you can sacrifice a little bit of time just to get that website up, and at least you've got something rather than nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it's you start building out what you would like that website to look like, and you've got a couple of other points here. Put in some imagery, hopefully try and get some testimonials off your clients, or some reviews there onto your website, and start really just putting together that content, right?
And so I mean, just to kind of round off this website chat, we'll probably have to finish this marketing discussion in the next episode, because we've already been going on quite a while. But I think the kind of essentials you need to think about having on your website is obviously think about like what in the analysis, what is it that you're trying to sell, but make sure you have the information of who you are, obviously what you do, and you've got to make it very easy for someone to contact you or book an appointment or whatever your preferred.
There's nothing worse than you spend your hours on that building that website, and then it's broken and they can't contact you or something like that. So make sure that functionality works there as well.
You want to make that
seamless.
That whole process as easy as possible, because at any point you could be losing people that just go.
So like for example, for us, like if we had let's say a large contact form, and you needed to put in all these details before you could even request a callback or request an email or something, then potentially that customer might just look at this and go, wow, there's a lot of work here, I'll just go out and try and find another website. Yeah,
that's right. And then lastly, like once you've got the website out there, you can start thinking about things like, do I want to get a bit of content up there, whether maybe it's a blog or like we said, a podcast, you put some videos up. Even things like images that are very personal to the business, of you doing your work or, your clients, all that kind of stuff.
So make it personal.
It always looks really good. Look, we've done 2 of the 5 pillars. I think we might have to split this up, because we've already been going on a while. Series.
And I think we can split it up and talk about the website and these elements a little bit more in detail. But if you want to sort of end it here, and then we can go into the next sort of sections in our second part series of just the basic tools for a small business, starting their journey. And basically this is for people that have zero content, they're pretty much starting from zero.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, look, this has been a lot of fun. I'm the one that has to edit these podcasts, so I've been waiting in the wings for a while. I've seen how they've gone, so it's a big moment in my career to be a part of this podcast. Also, thanks for having me on for this week.
Yeah, great to have you, and obviously we'll continue this discussion and go through the next couple of pillars that you've got here as well, and we'll get that out there as well.
That's
soon.
it. So stay tuned and give us a subscribe, watch us on any of the channels. I know Shane mentions them each week, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.